Is Mothering Sunday an ideal way to spend your weekend? Let's find out now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Your Pass. Today I'm talking about Mothering Sunday, which is coming to theaters in the DC area on April 1st, 2022. It opened in a few select markets last week. Now it's coming to DC from Sony Pictures Classic. So I'm going to do a 5-minute review, which means I'm going to talk about the movie for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, I'm going to cut this off no matter where I am. First off, my hot take. I actually think you should pass on this. Not that it's a bad film. It's actually a very beautiful film. The cinematography is great, and the acting is really good. But I just didn't really get into the story. I didn't care about the characters, and the film itself is very slow and a little dreamlike at times, and I didn't really understand why. Maybe it was just me, but overall, like, I just didn't really feel the story and the characters, and so that just meant I didn't really get into the film, even though it wasn't a bad film. Like, the components there were pretty good, but the overall story and conclusion just didn't really do it for me. So I'm gonna tell you a little more of the film, a few things I liked and a few things I didn't like. I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free. I don't really think there's going to be that much to spoil in this movie, but I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free. So don't worry about that. So in Mothering Sunday, you have Jane Fairchild, played by Odessa Young, who is a maid in this manor. And she finds herself alone on Mother's Day, and she gets to spend some time with her secret lover, who is a boy from a different manor down the street. No one knows that they're a couple. And there are some scenes in there that kind of test the secrecy of their relationship and kind of their reactions and things like that. But some events happen that change the course of both of their lives and change the course of like this entire scenario, and that's kind of the movie. That's the movie in a nutshell. It is like an English drama. There's a lot of family drama, there's a lot of like class aspects in here, and there's a twist, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. You can watch the movie and find out yourself, or don't. I suggest you shouldn't watch it, so maybe no. But things I liked about the movie, but the first is the setting. This film is set in like a British manor. There's a lot of scenes in this, in and around this area. It is beautiful. There's beautiful rolling hills. There's a beautiful, old style wood manor with just giant rooms, lots of windows, lots of light. It is a beautiful setting for this film. And it's one that is also made all the more beautiful by the fact that sometimes there's people in it, but in a lot of the film, there's no one in it. So it has this kind of dreamlike, idyllic quality to it, as Odessa Young's character is kind of going around the house. And that kind of leads right into the second thing I love, which is the cinematography. Cinematography is beautiful. It is a very, very beautifully shot film. You got some really great scenes in the house and scenes like with Jane, going around the house. That's this very beautiful part where it is very dreamlike, where she's kind of going through the house and it's kind of unoccupied. And it does feel like she's in another world at some points. And not only that, but like I said, the setting itself is beautiful. And there are some great shots of this overall countryside and of this area. They kind of tie together, the setting and the cinematography, but they are distinct and beautiful aspects of this film. The third thing I liked is the acting. The acting is good. I mean, this film has a great cast. It's got Odessa Young, it's got Josh O'Connor, it's got Olivia Coleman, it's got Colin Firth, it's got Ṣọpẹ, Dìrísù, and I'm sure I said that wrong. The acting is all very good. So why, you ask, don't I like this? Well, things I didn't like about this movie. The first is the pace. Like, it is a very slow film, like very slow, and things kind of happen in the film, and events happen, but they take a very long time to get to. There's a lot of like groundwork laid, which normally I would like, but in this movie, I don't know, something about it, I just didn't really get into this overall story, and part of that was the pace. The second thing is the story. The story itself, I don't know, things did happen. It's not like nothing happened, but it didn't feel like anything that important happened. And part of it was that the story itself was pretty slow. The characters, most of them, I guess their concerns just weren't really ones that resonated with me. The story also had a tendency to kind of jump around in time, which was a little confusing, and it would jump without really acknowledging it, which normally I'm okay with, but I guess in this case, I just sometimes didn't know if it was in the past or in the present, and that led to a little bit of confusion, and maybe that was all part of why I really didn't get into the characters. I didn't really, follow the story that well. But overall, I just didn't really get into the story or the characters. Part of it was probably the pace, and part of it was this kind of confusing nature. And so those are the two main things. The last thing I didn't love is there's a twist. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a twist that happens that, changes some of the meaning of the story. And I just, at that point, I had already checked out. So when the twist happened, like normally I'd be like, oh my gosh. But here I was just like, oh, okay, that just kind of changes the character of everything. And I didn't really feel that invested at that point. And I thought maybe it was just me, but I watched it with someone else. She also just didn't really feel for the story, didn't really care about the characters. So I think it was, maybe we were in the wrong mindset. Maybe the film itself is just a little bit too slow.